What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we're starting a brand new Dynasty in NCAA Football 06. I'm ready to get back into 06 after being away from it for a couple of weeks. And the reason why I'm doing this is, first of all, with recent events happening, with Colt Brennan passing away, and having the run and shoot on my mind, playing a little bit of Madden 04 and 06, makes me kind of want to get back into NCAA 06 and do some more run and shoot stuff. I had a good idea from a commenter recently about maybe it's time to bring up the run and shoot another Hawaii Dynasty, and I think it's a great idea. If you remember, a few years ago, I ran a Hawaii Dynasty for only one season, and it's been one of my regrets not letting that thing play out for several more seasons after that. Because there's several things about Hawaii that I'm interested in. Biggest thing is like recruiting, how difficult it's going to be over time, because I really love the idea of keeping a lot of in-state guys in the fold, even though there's not going to be that many. But also, how many recruiting points if I'm going to have to spend on those other states when they're so far away? Maybe there's not a big difference compared. Maybe they treat Hawaii as a border state to, say, California or Oregon or whatever. I'm not sure. We'll get into it. I'm sure somebody already has the answer for that. But with all of that together, I think it's a good idea for me to get back into this. This isn't about trying to make things as hard as possible. I just want to run the run and shoot, pay homage to the offense, to Colt Brennan, all that good stuff, and no better way to do it than with a Hawaii Dynasty. Now, the Madden 04 and 06 stuff isn't really going away. I'm still kind of tinkering with some things, especially with 04. For those of you who've been reading a couple of my posts, I kind of got over the whole camera thing with 04. I kind of had a workaround with it. Plus, I really want to do creative playbook stuff. It takes some time for me to kind of get into what I want to do there. And instead of me boring you to death with several more videos of trying to tinker with that stuff, I figure I'd go ahead and do something right here that I know that it will stick. And in time, I will sprinkle in some Madden 04 stuff with that creative playbooks, because I want to start off creating the run and shoot playbook out of the gate. But that is for Madden 04. Today, it's all about the Hawaii Dynasty. So let's get into it. I've already created my coach. It's my normal settings. And of course, we got to rock the mullet. We'll go in here, begin the Dynasty. Now, here's another interesting thing. My first Hawaii Dynasty, I used a roster file that was not what I am using now. I'm using a more completed roster file. A lot more teams have closer to 70 players and such. It's a lot more accurate. Whoever done that file done a great job with it. But you'll notice some differences in the rosters compared to what I've done before. For those of you who vividly remember that Dynasty, it's over on the channel. So here we are at the main screen. Today we're going to do our preseason shenanigans. And let's go ahead and get started with our coach options. This is simulation purposes. We're not going to sim anything playbook-wise. Offensive type, we're going to keep this at spread. This is important. We want as many receivers as we can, because I want to stick to the true run and shoot as best I can. Various versions of it. Besides the power shoot, I'm going to do the old school run and shoot and the modern run and shoot. But we definitely want spread offense, just so we don't have to keep as many fullbacks as needed. We only need to have a minimum of 1 and a minimum of 6 wide receivers. Base defense. Now, Hawaii is set up for a 4-3, but I am going to go back to a 3-4. I'm going to recruit to that. Now, the first season or two, I may have to do some 4-3, because that's just where my roster, is at. We'll just have to look at it here in a minute. But I'm definitely want to recruit to a 3-4, because I was actually enjoying some of that when I've done the Idaho stuff. Idaho State, I should say. The rest of this is all simulation, so none of this really matters what I change here, but I'm a bit OCD, so I'm going to go ahead and just fix some of this stuff. Just kind of give you an idea of what everything's going to look like. We'll go 50-50 here, but again, none of this really matters, but I want to change it anyway. We'll just go here. That looks okay. We're going to take the CPU assistance off, because I just want to recruit and do my own thing. Same with discipline. And we should be good to go there. We can check out our report card. It's not going to say a whole lot. Congratulations on being appointed as the new head coach. Beat Fresno State, beat USC. We will look at our schedule here in a minute. Now, remember, we are a 3-star program, so I'm going to try to have at least 3 ranked teams on the schedule when we get to it. Let's go to our playbook just to give you an idea of what we're going to be doing. This is my run and shoot playbook. I don't know how often I will use the big tight end wide receiver. I have it set up for goal line purposes, but I may not use it because I want to try some ace tight stuff, because when you are a spread offense team, you're supposed to have a minimum of 2 tight ends at all times. You can do the double tight end sub package in this formation. So I may do some goal line stuff with this. But otherwise, every now and then, I'm going to go under center. We're going to do some old school run and shoot, the original stuff at ace spread, ace 4 wide receiver trips, and ace empty. This is technically a 10 personnel set. The default halfback is to the right of the right tackle. So I wanted to keep that in there, and there are some true run and shoot concepts in there, or close-ish. We're still going to keep it the same for those of you who ever bought my run and shoot book. The offense is going to be just a lot of go, slide, choice, smash, and switch, but from various formations. Mainly these 3. I added flex bone slot. I don't know how much of this I used. There's maybe 3 pass plays that kind of fit what we're wanting to do here. But I wanted to give it a little bit of that old school look, and we're going to go flex bone slot. Flex bone normal doesn't have enough passing in order for me to really do what I want to do, so I left it out. Besides, I want to try to stick close to the 4 wide set as best as possible. Gun normal. The reason why I have this in here is because there is a 4 wide receiver sub package. I can put my 4th best receiver in at tight end, and then I can start moving him around because I'm still going to use some motion and such, like the old school guys used to do. And then I'm guessing the majority of our offense will come from gun spread and gun trip. So there's going to be a lot of cool run and shoot stuff in here from various looks. You know, in the previous Hawaii Dynasty, I've done everything from these 2 formations, but I'm definitely going to branch out, going to add 4 or 5 more that's going to be part of the base offense. Going to be a lot of fun. I haven't done anything with audibles. That's the one thing with the run and shoot. You don't really need a lot of audibles, but I will probably include run plays of some sort. Like from the gun, I'll probably do like QB choice, do like off tackle stuff, and then some under center stuff. I'll figure that out a little bit later. We've got all that down. Let's go and look at our roster, but we can look at that via our red shirt section. It's just a little bit easier to kind of do both things at the same time right here. So for those of you who remember the Hawaii Dynasty, the first one, I had a completely different set of quarterbacks. Here, it's a little bit different. I got 3 guys that are 72 overall and a couple 68, including Cole Brennan. Now, you notice he's number 14. I will be changing that to number 15 next season. Our starting strong safety, if I'm not mistaken, is wearing 15. Once he graduates, I'm going to put that number on Colt, and he'll have that, and maybe he'll be our starting quarterback a couple years down the road. But since we got so many guys redshirted that are still equally as good, if not better than him, we'll go ahead and redshirt him. Now, we can check out the throw-in accuracy, throw-in power. I haven't really made up my mind who's going to start here. We can check that in the depth chart a little bit later. But as you can tell, the best arm of the bunch may be Rolovich, and I think he was my starter last year, or in the last Dynasty. I don't remember, to be honest, but he's got a little bit better of an arm than the rest. Throwing power is a big deal because we're going to be doing a lot of, deeper stuff. But I'm not exactly, I don't have John Elway on my roster right now. So it's still, I don't have the best quarterbacks in the world, but I think I can make do. Let's talk about halfbacks. Now, if you remember, I had a big old boy at halfback, superback, in the last Dynasty. He is actually, they moved him to tight end in this roster. He must not have played much halfback back then. I'm not really sure. But we're going to do some tight end stuff with him, just get him out on the field just because he's got an 84 overall, 84 speed. We're going to make use of him somehow. But when you go back to halfback, we're down to 3 guys, a senior, a junior, and a freshman. And I want to keep 2 guys going at all times. We're going to just redshirt this freshman, Mario Cox. He is set up for kind of what I want to do. My ideal halfback is going to be a big, thick guy like this guy right here who can catch the ball as well. Because a lot of our run and shoot concepts or plays that we're going to use requires the halfback to catch the ball at least a little bit. Now, this guy can't catch worth a lick. I can work around that whenever he gets, involved, in the offense. But these 2 guys right here are perfect for what I want to do. At least they can catch. This guy is set up actually even better. But I can't redshirt 2 of them. I have to at least just redshirt 1, so we'll have a backup. So I may split the carries with these 2. We'll see. Fullback, we're going to just keep one on the roster at all times, so we already have two. We got two redshirt freshmen. Unfortunately, they got to stay there. I can't get rid of them. I'd love to get rid of one, or I wish one of them was a senior that would open up a slot for somebody else. Because like you see at the very top, we have a total of 70 players on the team. Wide receiver, we need as many of these as possible, but if you notice, we only got two halfway decent ones. Ferguson and Dickerson, I used them a ton in the last Dynasty. It'll be no different this go round. I'll probably have them in the slot quite a bit. But the rest of these guys, I will probably end up redshirting at least one. That gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want 6. I'm okay with that. I'm only going to have 4 wide receivers on the field at all times. I could probably do away or get away with redshirting another one, maybe. We can try that. Let's redshirt this other receiver. He is our 4th best. I'm losing some speed with these two freshmen, but I'm okay with that. We can get our speed somewhere else. That doesn't bother me too much. Because, no, let's just go ahead. Let's unredshirt Michael Washington. He's really small, but I like his speed. I could put him in special teams. And let's redshirt one of these this sophomore right here. That's fine. I think I can get away with these 5 guys. We'll have one backup. If not, I'll burn a red shirt and we'll figure it out. Because you got to remember, we're going to play this guy a ton. So we're going to use some tight end sub packages with him. The good thing is all 3 of these tight ends got speed. That's good. And all of them can catch in some way. So, you know, with ace tight, I can do my double tight end sub package. So at least I got some bodies here, if nothing else. But I will have to recruit some tight ends in the offseason. But I can't redshirt anybody here, so we can move on. The same with our offensive line. 80 and 78. These 2 guys are here are my 2 starters on the outsides. Guard, I got 2 decent ones, and it's a big drop-off after that. We got a true freshman here we can redshirt, which is good. Center, we got one really good one. He's a senior, and then it's a big drop-off after that. Again, we're going to run a 3-4. Unfortunately, this guy right here, I'm going to see if I can move him to outside linebacker next year. Because look how big he is. I need 100-pound, I need 300-pound defensive ends in my defense. So this isn't going to work. But I could do at least a little bit of stuff with him. Unfortunately, and we could check the depth chart later on. I wish I could just kind of move him to outside linebacker right now, just in the depth chart. But I don't think it'll let me without his numbers dropping. But we'll see a little bit later on. Look at these other guys. They're all really small. This guy's a really good size, but he's a senior. So we're only going to have him for 1 year. A lot of these guys are super small. This is going to be my biggest transition position of the entire offense, or of the entire team, just because we're switching defenses completely. Let's go ahead and redshirt this guy. We're going to be doing a whole lot more 4-3 because I don't think we got the linebackers to do a ton of 3-4 this year. Just looking at the rest of these, a senior and a junior. I don't need all. Let's do that. We'll just redshirt the junior, I guess. I mean, what I may do. No, I think what I'm going to do is do this. I'm going to redshirt this senior. I rarely redshirt seniors, but he's the type of defensive end that we need in the 3-4 defense. And we already got a couple seniors on the or we got another senior there. Maybe he can step up and play some next year because that guy's going to be gone. We'll see how that goes. I'm okay with that because I need some size at defensive end. A defensive tackle, this is at least a positive. I don't need as many defensive tackles, and I got way too many right here. So I don't know if I will redshirt any of them unless we got a true freshman that's worth. So we got a bunch of upperclassmen. Are any of these guys worth redshirting? Like this kid right here, I think I may redshirt. At least he's the biggest of the bunch, 6'2", 297. That's still nowhere near big enough of what we want. Like all of these guys are super small. None of these are the ideal fit for what I want to do with the 3-4. But I'm not going to redshirt anybody else. There's no point. I got way too many guys as is. Interesting, I got a guy right here. He's 6'4", 225 defensive tackle. He must be a local kid. I'm just by looking at the last name. But he's got 72 speed. He almost, I don't know, it's just a weird athlete, him playing defensive tackle. Either way, We're just going to do the one red shirt because, again, the most core or defensive tackles I'll ever have on my roster in the future will be 4, roughly. Here is outside linebacker. We got a couple okay guys and a couple just average, and I got 2 older guys behind them. What I may do is let's redshirt these 2 freshmen. That's a nice gift, having these 2 freshmen there. We can redshirt them. I kind of like what I'm seeing right there. When it comes to outside linebackers with the 3-4, you kind of want some size there, but also speed. I mean, you kind of need some special players right here. So I might have to be really careful about what I want here. We'll see how that goes with recruiting, though. Middle linebacker. Here's where I need some bodies, to say the least. I wonder... No, I can't do that. Never mind. I'll sort that in the recruiting. Look at the linebackers. Not a whole lot. We got an average guy who's a senior, and then it's just a drop-off after that. And I need bodies in the worst way. Let's go ahead and just redshirt this middle linebacker for now. The rest of them I'm okay with. Because, like I said, we're going to do more 4-3 than 3-4 this year. I'll sprinkle in some 3-4. Like when we go up against a passing attack that uses bigger sets, I may do some 3-4. Corner. This is another thing. When the 3-4 is at its best in terms of roster, I don't need to do a whole lot of anything else, maybe outside of nickel, which means I don't need that many corners. Now, we got an okay guy here with a guy that's a little bit less than him behind him. Then after that, it's just a hodgepodge of whoever. I don't need all 4 of these guys. We can redshirt one of them. It looks like it doesn't make a difference or kind of the same. Let's just redshirt this guy. They got the same awareness, too. We'll just redshirt him. I got some height, a couple of these guys, or at least on one. He's the worst of the bunch. Free safety. We got a pretty decent guy, but he's a senior. We're going to lose a ton of seniors. We'll go back and look at the entire roster here in a minute. But I can't redshirt anybody here at safety. I can't redshirt this guy. I would kind of like to just to get some help there. The problem is both numbers seniors, so safety, strong safety is a big need for us. But this is the guy who's got number 15. As soon as he leaves again, I'm going to put 15 on Colt Brennan next year. We do have, this is good. We got a redshirt junior and a true freshman. There's not a whole lot of difference. I'm guessing this guy's got a better leg. We can look here. And yeah, he's got a better, it's kind of about the same in a way. He's a little bit better. But this is like a perfect setup kicking-wise. I got a true freshman kicker, and his backup are about the same. So I can go ahead and redshirt this guy. We got an upperclassman here. So by this time this guy becomes a sophomore, we'll have a decent little kicker to work with for a few years after that. And we got a redshirt junior punter. We can't do any redshirting there. All right. We got rid of those. We will do the depth charts. Let's just go ahead and do that now since we're kind of in the roster mode. This shouldn't take us too long, I wouldn't think. When it comes to quarterback, we're down to these 3. I would probably do Rolovich, and we'll do Akina. And let's just look here really quick. Throwing power and accuracy looks like Gronk. I guess that's how you say his name. It's got the better arm, so we'll put Rolovich and then Gronk and Akina, and we'll just see how that goes. Halfback, I'm okay with this because this guy right here has got a really good catch rating. I mean, that's good for a halfback. And he will be catching the ball some. So I'm okay with that. Fullback. Let's make sure we put in the right fullbacks in here. Let's put him and then Chop. Then we could put Aleoa. I'm going to really butcher some of these names. So forgive me if you are of Hawaiian descent and I don't say these names correctly. These are going to be kind of tough. Wide receiver. I can either use... You know, in the previous Dynasty, I had my 2 best receivers in the slot, and they tended to get out the ball a ton. So I may end up doing the same thing. So, for example, what's interesting, that our tight end is technically our 3rd best receiver. That's so interesting how that's set up. Interesting. I wonder. Let's try something. This could be really interesting. Okay, let's try this. Let's go over to our tight ends. Let's put in G. Mullen, and then we'll put Weems. I don't think that'll make a difference which one I do. We're going to do Ileola. Then we're going to go over here, since I want my 2 best receivers at the 3 and 4 spots. That way I don't have to use sub packages over and over and over again for every single game. We're going to put Dickerson. We're going to put Iliola. We'll just call him Nate. Let's keep it simple. We're going to put him at our X. We're going to put Sample, or who's our next guy? I guess it's our true freshman. He's a slot guy, though. Let me look here. Let's look at these 2 guys. 88 and 90 on the speed. All of these guys are short, so it really doesn't matter. So let's just keep doing what we're doing. Then we're going to put Dickerson at 3 and Ferguson at 4, and we'll see how that goes. We'll put Sample, and then we got Bach. So hopefully all that makes sense. Again, I want my 2 best receivers in the slot. That way I don't have to bother with the sub packages. I could do formation subs as well, but it's just easier doing it this one time right here instead of going through every single formation and moving them around. And this may change over time, so I'm not too caught up over this. But this is an interesting wide receiver core. My top receiver is going to be, or my X receiver is going to be our tight end. And then over here, we will have something like, let's switch those 2 out. That way, if I use a double tight end sub package, he will be in there regardless. We'll figure that out. I'll figure that out in time. All right, left tackle looks good. Left guard looks good. Center. We'll put our other centers in here. Who should be our backup? When it comes, since we're going to pass the ball a ton, we need really smart guys. So let's go ahead, especially for a center, because of the high snap. The higher the awareness, the less chance you'll see high snaps. So we'll put Harmon as our backup. Right guard looks good. Right tackle looks good. Here's where things get a little interesting. This Allen Jones kid, this is the one that I'd love to see an outside linebacker. The problem is, when you go to like outside linebacker here, you keep on going, he's a 59 overall at outside linebacker, so it's not going to work. So we're going to go back, and we'll just have him be our starting left end, and we'll put one of these 2 guys like right here. Let's do the other one. Yeah, we got that correct. We'll do, where's the other right end? We'll do this right here, maybe. Those are our top 4 guys. I'm okay with that. Defensive tackle. Man, it's a big drop off after that second guy. Ooh, we actually have, I got this guy right here to work with. So who should be our number 2 defensive tackle? This guy's got a better tackle, and he's bigger. Oh, yeah, this is the guy that actually looks like a 3-4 defensive tackle. At least kind of close. We'll put him at our number 2. From here, awareness is a big deal. So, and he's the impact guy. So I got to keep this guy as our top defensive tackle, even though he weighs like most of our middle linebackers should. So I like what I'm seeing there. Left outside linebacker, for now, we will go. I got a bunch of right outside linebackers. So let's go over here to right outside linebacker, and we'll put Lau right here. Do I got just a ton of middle linebackers that I can move over? They don't have the speed, so I'm actually okay with that. I may end up putting this guy. He's going to be our backup outside linebacker. He'll be our backup on both sides. So you go over to middle linebacker. We'll put Durrington here. And those will be our top 3 guys there. We're done right outside linebacker. Next up, we got corner. We're going to put our top corner here. These guys are way out of whack. I knew I should have fixed that earlier. We'll put this guy right here. These have to be our top 2. Our third string, our nickel back, I'm okay with that. We got speed. If I do any blitzing from that guy, I can do that. Free safety. Peoples, I guess. Yeah, redshirt freshman might as well. Strong safety, we only got 2, so that looks good. We got 1 kicker. We got the 1 punter. And when it comes to this, I want speed from the offensive side. Let's do Ferguson and Dickerson. I'm okay with that. So our true freshman is going to be our starting returner. How did I have it set up? Ferguson and Dickerson. Ferguson and Dickerson. Kickoff, I'm okay with that. Center, we can do a... I forgot which one was our... Is it Harmon's, our other guy? He's got the better awareness. Let's go ahead and have Harmon be ours. You never see high snaps off special teams, so I'm okay with him being our long snapper. No, I take that back. I have seen that before, but it's never high enough. Let's go ahead and move that back. You do have high snaps on punt returns, but thankfully it's not high enough where it goes over the punter's head, although that would be cool if it was included. And I think we're done with that. So let's go to rosters and let's check out our captains. We'll go to awareness. Looks like our centers are starting offensive captain, and I'm guessing this defensive tackle is going to be our... No, maybe it's the free safety. That's fine. Looks like our free safety is our defensive captain. Program standards. Let's look at this. It's not terrible. It's below half, so hopefully we can take advantage of that this year and really knock that thing down. Is there anything else we need to look at? Formation subs doesn't mean nothing until you get into the game. I think we're good there. So now let's go up to preseason options. Let's go to custom schedule. We start off with USC out of the gate. I would prefer to play somebody else, like a weak team first. Like, this is a weird schedule. We got a couple guys back here. I want to start off with somebody small, then we can play somebody else after that. Let's see what we have. I'm not going to play any AA teams or FCS. Like, Wyoming would be a decent one. That would be pretty tough. That's a Mountain West team. Washington State, Washington. Let's just go through here. USF. I'll probably pick somebody on the West Coast-ish, then I'll go on the road somewhere. Tulsa would be interesting. Texas State, which is... We're not going to go with that. TCU. TCU would be a decent one as well. Let's go... no, let's start... Let's do a non... We'll do a group of 5 team. Let's do SMU. We'll have them come here. Then we'll go somewhere really tough. LSU would be an interesting one. Iowa. Gosh, haven't been to Iowa in forever, but I wouldn't mind going to USC. Is USC available right here? I don't mind playing them. They're not available there. Are they available? How many games do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we already got the 12 picked out. Is USC available right here? There they are. Let's go to USC right there. We'll pick another... Let's say, how many ranked games? I got 1 and 2. We'll pick a third one. We'll pick a third one in this slot right here. So let's go up to the very top and see what... Let's go to the East Coast and play somebody. Alabama, Arizona State, Boston College. Ooh, let's go to Boston. I haven't been to Boston College in forever. I can't tell you last time I played in that stadium. So let's go at Boston College. That's a heck of a road trip for Hawaii, to say the least. We're going to leave that open because, again, we got 1, 2. Let me just make sure I count this correctly. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then here, I can leave San Diego State. It is. They're on the West Coast. I don't mind that. So we can leave that. So let me check the home and away. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 and 6. I'm okay with that. So I think that's a pretty good schedule. We got 3 ranked games: Boston College, Boise State, and USC. And San Diego State and SMU are our 2 other non-conference games, with our conference schedule filled out with the rest. We're going to keep that schedule. Now let's go to Athlon Sports. Let's go to preseason polls. I think we're at the very bottom somewhere. We'll see. No, we're 84th. That's not bad. As you can tell, our defense is terrible. Our offense is terrible. Our defense is average. We got a lot of work to do to recruit. A Heisman watch, this isn't going to affect us for a while unless we really put up some crazy numbers. I'm hoping we'll get to. Got your standard 5 guys there. Preseason All-Americans. I don't think we'll have anybody on this list. Nor do we have for second team. We can go to the WAC. Do we have anybody? I figure we'd have at least a couple of players. Nobody on the first team. That's disappointing. We do have Dickerson on the second team. Then we got a couple guys. Satelli, Favi, a couple linemen. We got another lineman there too. Aparessa. Hope I said that correctly. Hopefully in the postseason we will have a ton of more players on this list. Conference outlook, they'll have us towards the bottom, I'm sure. Oh, they got us 5th. They got us halfway. San Jose State's pretty bad. Utah State. Just looking here. Yeah. Idaho. But all of these teams are just kind of right there in the middle. So, what we have next, toughest places to play. I don't know if we'll ever move that needle in this game, but I'd love to stick with Hawaii for a long time. Let's go to, I think all that's left is in-season recruiting. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm still going to do in-season recruiting. I don't mind doing it. We're a 3-star program. We can start doing some of this. But I'm going to recruit. I'm going to try to keep it local and keep it somewhat realistic. You know, we're a 3-star program. I'm not going to go after any 4-star schools. Most 4-star players don't go to group of 5 teams. But I am going to go all out for the Hawaii, you know, for the state of Hawaii. So when we go through some of these, we'll check out our pipeline. California's one that's expected. We'll have to keep that as a pipeline. And there is Hawaii, a grand total of 5 players. And we're going to go after some of these guys here in a minute. We're not going to have many pipelines. I'm going to try to keep this as close to the West Coast as possible. Because Lord knows we're going to spend a lot of recruiting points just going after kids. Because again, I think with Hawaii, they do take in, you know, to effect the distance. Somehow they got Texas as a pipeline, but I'm not going to recruit that. That's going to just cost me a ton of points. I'd rather get more kids from Arizona, Oregon, Washington. Utah would be another one. So for now, it looks like California, Hawaii. So let's just go all the way to Hawaii and see what we're dealing with. We got a grand total of 5 guys. Middle linebacker, 6 feet 225. I prefer somebody bigger at middle linebacker with a 3-4, but we need all the help we can get. For now, this is the only 4-star kids we're going to go after, are Hawaii kids, just because I love the idea of keeping as many Hawaii kids in state. So we're going to go after him. We need help at free safety, that's for sure. 6'3", 215. He's the type of free safety that I love. Really tall. He's not the fastest, but I'm okay with that. Fullback, we are not, like this guy would be, I'd love to see he won't be able to run the ball. And we don't need fullback. So he'd be the one guy that I may not go after just because we just don't really need him, unfortunately. And I don't know where else to put him. So I'm not going to recruit him. Halfback, we need help at halfback. He's got some speed to him, Nick Larson. I prefer somebody a little bit bigger, but if he can catch and... If he can catch at least a little bit, he'll be worth it, but we'll definitely go after him. And corner, we don't really need much. It says we need some corner help. 6 feet 168, 435. I'm okay with going after him because, again, I want to keep these guys as local as I can. Now, unfortunately, you look at these last names, it looks like a lot of these guys are transfer kids. I don't know how many of these are actual Hawaii kids, but it says they're from Hawaii, so we'll go with it. Now let's go to California. Go over here to the left. Now the rest of this, I'm hoping we just get most California kids for now. Quarterback, I don't really need to go after these because we're going to throw the ball a ton. We're going to put up a ton of passing yards, which means we shouldn't have any issues getting quarterbacks in the offseason. In regular season, in-season recruiting, you can't see what these guys' arms are until you actually put them on your list. And we can't do that here. And so I'm not going to go after either one of these. Halfback, unless I'm seeing somebody that really fits what I want to see. Like this guy, kind of, sort of. The problem is, I still want to see these halfbacks can catch the ball a little bit. And we can't. So I'm not going to go after any more halfbacks. Fullbacks, don't have to worry about that. Receiver, this is the other thing. We are a 3-star program, so I'm going to stick with the 3 stars everywhere else. That's my other recruiting rule. Everywhere else, we'll stick with the same star prestige since we are currently a 3-star program. Now, you notice we already got 6 guys on the roster, but I don't mind looking at some of these. Now, we're not going to have any issues going after receivers in the offseason, but you just never know with some of these guys. And there are a ton of receivers right here. Speed is a big deal. I need speed and height. This guy's a 4.31. He's probably worth it. But I want some, like this kid right here, I'd love to have. Jesse Ross. He's smart and he's really tall. He's not the fastest, but he'd be great on the outside. This guy would be pretty decent as well. 4.39's pretty good. I wouldn't mind going after this kid and this 4.31 right here. So some speed. We got 3 guys right there, but we're already down to 5 guys. What I probably need to do, since we're going after so many receivers, or there will be so many that will be interested in us in the offseason, we will come back to the wide receivers when we're done because we got bigger shoes in the field than that. We got some tight ends here. Now, I prefer to not use many tight ends in the run and shoot. I would prefer them to be blocking tight ends because we may use them later on. I just don't know if we're going to find anybody special to really do damage for us. I think they'd be better off as blockers because, again, I want to stick to the true 4 wide receiver setup of the run and shoot. This guy right here will be great for us blocking. 6'2", 264. Look at his squat. Really good. So I'll put 1 on him. Tackle. It says we don't really need help, but I want some really smart guys. We will come back to tackle. We will also come back to guard. For this, I'm going straight awareness for all of my offensive linemen. Like this kid right here, I would take him over some of these other guys who are much stronger. But it says we don't really need any of these right now. So let's go to defense. And then we'll fill out the rest with offensive linemen. Here's where we need all the help we can get. Now, this is going to be a lot of fun. Besides the Idaho State, what barely, I've done in that, this is going to be a whole lot of fun recruiting for the 3-4. I've never really done it before. I know what I got to get. I just got to find it. For example, this kid right here is perfect for what I'm looking for. 6'5", 270. And that's about as small as I'm going to get, or that I want for defensive end. I'm going to put 1 on him. I don't need them to be super fast. I need them to clog up the B gaps, C gaps. And this guy's, I'm just trying to see, 240, 255. Since it says we don't need many defensive ends right now, I can be very picky about it for the next season or two. So I definitely want to go after this guy. Defensive tackle, you got to at least be 300 pounds. I can't even look at you. The only one I see is like this kid right here, but he's a 4-star, so I'm not going to go after him. Now, outside linebacker, I can kind of get whoever I want. It looks like I got a ton of outside linebackers. I still feel like I need speed here. These are going to be my rushers. I need them to come off the outside edge. And they also are going to be running a ton of quarters. So I need some speed out there. Like this kid would be amazing to have. This guy would be great to have. But they're both 4-stars, so I'm not going to bother. Middle linebacker, I need some smart, humongous dudes. They technically don't need to be the fastest guys in the world. But this guy's really strong. I'm going to go after him. He's a 3-star, so I got the Ben Jasmine. That's a great name. I got the green light to go after him. And I have a feeling we're not going to have any trouble going after middle linebackers at all. So I may leave it just for him for right now. I love his strength. 655 on the squad. That's great. Corner, it says we need it. I need some height and some speed. This guy has it, so I don't mind going after him. Another Slaughter. How many Slaughters have I recruited over the years? We'll go, or at least put on the field. We'll go after this guy, 6'2", 439. That's more than what we need. Free safety, we already got 1 listed there. We got 1 local kid. This guy's not what we need. He's too slow and he's too short. And strong safety. 3-star kid, 6'4", 191. I'm not a big fan of his speed, but we're in the WAC, so I'm not overly concerned about that. He's really smart, but I love his height. We'll go with that because our safeties, they pretty much do the same thing. I don't mind going after him. So that leaves us 3 spots. So let's go after some offensive linemen. I could go after some of these receivers, but again, we're not going to have any issues whatsoever getting receivers in the offseason. At least we shouldn't. So we're going to go back to our offensive line. And let's find the smartest dudes we can find that are big and strong. This kid right here would be perfect, but he's a 4-star, so I'm not going to go after him. The rest of them are B. I'm going to try to find really smart dudes. So let's go to guard. See what's available. Like this kid right here, I'm probably go after him. He's not big, but again, he's smart. I want guys who are A and A+. This guy's an A+, but he's a 4-star, so I'm going to ignore him. And all these are 4-stars. So we got 2 spots left. Let's create another pipeline somewhere else. We can do like Oregon or Washington. Let's check those. Let's go to Oregon first. Oregon and Washington is not going to produce a lot of talent, but at least are close-ish. Let's look at their offensive line. Looks like Oregon doesn't have anybody. Let's go to Washington. And there's a 4-star with an A awareness, so we can't go after him. So I may go back after those 2 wide receivers. I could go, again, to Texas, but that's just going to cost me a ton of points, even now, for it being a pipeline. And I just don't want it to be a pipeline. I don't feel like we need it. So what's next? Like Arizona, maybe? I'm trying to think of the other. Is Alaska on here? Does Alaska? Let's check Alaska. Let's see if they got any players. They got a middle linebacker. Ooh, 6'5", 230. Let's go after some Alaska kids. That's a good idea. Let's go after him. Roderick Richardson. That's an amazing name. He's perfect linebacker for what we want. We're going to turn Alaska into a pipeline. Oh, that's great. Okay, let's go to Arizona. We have options here. Good. Just looking, it says we need another strong safety. They don't have any strong safeties. So let's go back to offensive line. 3-star kid A. Great. We're not going after any centers yet. He's smart and he's a 3-star kid. Perfect for what we're looking for. Boom. All right, that concludes in-season recruiting. So what we can do now, I think we're done with everything. We've went through our playbook, roster, depth chart, schedule. So let's go ahead and simulate this first week. It shouldn't take long. And then we'll go into our 12 recruits we're going after, and then we'll just spread our points around accordingly. And then that will be it for the video, I would think. I hope you're excited about this as I am. Again, I will get into my Madden stuff when I can figure out sort of what I want to do there. Okay, let's go to in-season recruiting. And let's just check every one of these out. We're going to look for positives first. I like to knock those out just to see. I've had great success over the last several dynasties. I don't see any positives or negatives, which is okay. I've had great success doing the spread out method for recruiting, with in-season recruiting with your points. You can either put all your eggs in one basket, just going after 4 or 5 guys, or you can spread it out, because even if I have, for example, this guy right here, even though I'm really low on his list, that doesn't mean I don't have a chance. It just depends on how many points you put on it compared to everybody else on the list. So if I put 10 points on him and I keep going up, that means the rest of those schools right there aren't looking at him super hard. So we got 12 here. What I am going to do is go 8 across the board. And we're going to go after all 12. I didn't see any negative pitches. So we got the green light to go after everybody. I'll get whoever's on this list. I don't really care. And then we should have like 4 points left to spread to 4 guys we really want, I guess. We'll go 8. We'll go 8. And we'll go 8 one more. Nope, we got 2 more of them. And we go right there. So we got 4 more to give out. This middle linebacker, it looks like we have a really good chance with him. Let me check. Did I go after... Let's look at this halfback. A- hands. That's not bad. I'm okay with that. That's good to see. Let's go ahead and show these 4 guys some love. The ones who we are kind of high on their list already. We got 1 more to give. Let's go after this strong safety, because we need him more than anything else, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, we need both of these guys. Let's go. It doesn't really matter. Let's go after this guy right here. Okay. Again, we're spreading out all of our points to all 12. Who knows? The most I've ever gotten was 9 in one in-season recruiting season before. I don't know if I could ever break that record, but who knows? We may have a chance with this one. All right, come on back. Our next Dynasty video, we will play our first game of the Dynasty against SMU. Oddly enough, this was the last head coaching job for June Jones, the run-and-shoot guru, who was currently the head coach here at Hawaii. So that's a nice little run-and-shoot plug right there. Pretty neat. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.